Hi there. Hi there. This is Patrice Williams. I am your host of Vaccinate Solano Live. I am so excited because we have a special guest. This is a woman that I've been hearing about in the community. So I got to meet her for the first time a few minutes ago. And for us to have this sit down conversation about vaccinations in Solano. Let me bring her on. She's my new friend and about to be yours.
Good morning.
Good morning, Laura Dutch. How are you?
I am doing great, and you?
Oh my goodness. When we're having these shows, my stomach kind of turns and I have the nervy still. It's like 75 episodes I've done total and I still get so nervous. So I'm still at that stomach turning type of stage, but I'm glad to meet you for the first time.
Same. I'm happy to be here.
We don't usually do bios during the Vaccinate Solano because it's a very short um, uh, segments, but I loved your bio so much that I'm going to read a little bit of it. And so give me a second because of course, I had it pulled up and it's not anymore. And I see Lisa Clinton is on our stream and she is saying hello. She's welcoming you, Laura.
Hi, Lisa.
Let's see. Laura Dutch is the principal of Vallejo Regional Education Center, Vallejo's adult school. Laura was born and raised in Vallejo. She is a registered nurse and a public nurse license with a public nurse license. As an RN, Laura works in the fields of medical, surgical, outpatient clinic, and home care. She later attended Chapman University and Touro College to obtain a California teaching credential and a master's in education. Laura is proud of the work done by the adult school to serve the Vallejo community. The school provides adults with free classes and opportunities to learn English, obtain U.S. citizenship, complete a high school diploma or GED, or train for careers or entry into union apprenticeship programs. The pandemic has been a challenge for the adult school staff and students as all programs moved online. Laura has developed a passion for spreading information regarding COVID and the need for vaccinations. She recognizes the role each of us plays in protecting those around us during the pandemic. Laura's hope is that she can share information that will help listeners to overcome vaccine fears and take the steps to protect themselves and those that they love. And then you said, feel free to edit. No, ma'am, there's nothing to edit. No, ma'am, there is nothing to edit. Love it. So, and that's how I heard about you. So we started doing the vaccination outreach work, and we were posting about it. And one of our friends said, do you know Laura Dutch? You need to know her. You need to know her. So let's talk a little bit about the adult school before we jump in, because you are doing such amazing work there. You're doing, U.S. citizenship?
Yeah, we have an amazing school. We have amazing staff and students. If you want to know a little bit more about us, go to our website. You'll see the classes and information there. You can register there. We also have an active Facebook page where we post student stories that are pretty touching, I think. But the adult school is like a gem in Vallejo. The classes are free. They're open to everyone over the age of 18. And the passion of everybody here is to help the residents of Vallejo, and you don't have to be a resident of Vallejo. We can serve anyone in California, and they can come and take these classes for free and reach goals that they may have deferred. They may have dropped out of high school, or they may have come here from another country, and half of our students are English language learners. So really proud of them, proud of the work that we've done during the pandemic. I was looking at statistics yesterday, and our student enrollment is down during the pandemic, but the outcomes are up. So we had more students graduate this year than last year. So what does that mean? It means people during the pandemic decided that it wasn't okay just to sit at home on their sofa and isolate. They could take that time to go online and take these classes and get their diploma. So I'm proud of our students. It's an amazing place to work.
Wow. I love when you said for those of us that have goals that are deferred, dreams that are deferred, you are that pathway to that dream.
That's it. We've been called a hidden gem, and we don't want to be hidden. So anybody who hears this, or anybody who can help us spread the word, I think everybody has someone in their life who probably needs something that we offer. So send them our way. It's a welcoming place. Everybody's welcome here, and we're here to help you.
Well, I have some clients that we're going to be sending your way.
Awesome.
I know some amazing women. I'm going to be sending them your way.
Send them over.
So not only did we post your school's website link into the stream, but also your email address, and also we're going to post that on Empower Solano as well. And so consider us a community partner. You have things going on, flyers, graphics that need to be posted. We will do that because we don't want you to be a hidden gem either.
I don't want to be a hidden gem. Thank you for that. It's always appreciated.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I could not help but to say that the fact that your outcomes went up during the pandemic, do you also feel like that's because virtual rooms were smaller and it was just less people to obsess over?
I don't know if it was because they were smaller. I think that there was a group of people who realized that in the graduation speech I gave, I said that those students took lemons and made pandemic lemonade. So I feel like all of us were faced with this thing where here comes this pandemic, and what do they tell us to do? Shelter, hide away in your house, keep your mask on, wash your hands, all of those things. And these people, maybe they had lost their job because of the pandemic. Yeah. They were doing those things, but it's like, okay, I've binge watched all of Netflix. Now what? I never got a high school diploma. I don't know. But I think the beyond that, the attendance was high. So we had people who registered for these classes and they came every day. So I think that's why the outcomes were higher. I also have to give a shout out to the teachers and the staff, because they, as an adult school, we have a lot of teachers that are a little older. And for them, the technology was a big challenge when we were in person. And then when we got to the pandemic, there was no choice. Everybody became tech savvy. Our childcare staff, we changed their role completely and put them in the online classrooms to be translators for the people who didn't speak English and to help them with technology. So we all pivoted into this role of helping people. Was it easier online for students? No. But I think they were determined to make this time that they were forced to have worthwhile.
Right. So, yeah. Right. Well, we have Mary Ellen Jones. She said Miss Dutch is a gift to our community.
And thank you.
So how did I know for the I was about to say adult school, the regional
you can call us adult school, I'm
good. AKA adult school, serves 18 and over. So how did well, it was about 2 months ago. I think it was May 15th. We were able to vaccinate 18, it went down to 18 and up. Did you see what were the students saying? What, kind of did you see barriers? Were the 18 and up crowd in your at the adult school? Were they in a panic? Like what was it like through the pandemic and once the vaccines went down to 18 and up?
Right. When the vaccines first came out, there was the whole issue of accessibility. And so even the people who were of the right age, it was difficult. It was really, really difficult to get a vaccine. And you had to search for those spots you could get them. And our students range in age from 18, but our oldest students are in their 70s. So we had people the whole pandemic, once vaccines became available, we always had people in the age group. Our teachers are a little older, like I said. So what we did from the start was we put out information about the vaccines so that whoever was in the right age group had that information, knew when vaccine clinics were coming, how they could get a spot. I started out with our teachers. And so I wanted our teachers to have the information and to know how they could get vaccinated. And then what I asked of them was to spread the word in class while they were online that they were vaccinated and what the experience was like and why they became vaccinated, and then give their students resources to become vaccinated as they or members of their family became eligible. So that was the most powerful thing. We had one teacher who is young, she's probably maybe 30, and was pregnant during the pandemic. And so she teaches English as a second language. And when Lindsay stepped up in her class and told her students that she had gotten vaccinated, her students were, oh, teacher, is that okay? And she went on to educate them about the fact that a pregnant woman passes the immunity to their unborn baby through the vaccine. And so the teachers found that as they shared their stories with the students went out and got vaccinated as their turn came. So that was how we did it as a school. And our idea was that when we reopen, which we plan to do in August, we want to have as many people vaccinated as possible so that we can be our own safety bubble, that people can come here knowing that they're in a place where vaccines are valuable and respected. And, the bottom line is the vaccines work. They work. So we need to make sure that our students are aware. We have a lot of students who have fears like everybody else does. We had a lot of the people in our Latinx community who had fears about having problems conceiving children afterwards. And, I'm sure everybody's heard that. It was a rumor that went out that, it affected your ability to have children after being vaccinated. But the truth of the matter is that COVID can impact that. So if you get COVID, there's a chance that you could be infertile, especially young men. So that is, just another rumor. But kind of dispelling those things and listening to people, because the fears are real and the fears are only dispelled by accurate and scientific information. So
Right. I love that. That the school itself will be its own safety level. How powerful is that?
I think that's the way it has to be. I have to make my teachers also comfortable coming back. And if they know that that's a focus here, then I think that makes them more comfortable being in a classroom, knowing that, we all have that same belief, and we try to get as many people vaccinated as possible.
And and I also love that it's about telling your why, your story. So what is your why? It fed right into my question for you. What is your why? Why did you get vaccinated, and why does this work mean so much to you?
Well, why I got vaccinated? I mean, I have a scientific background. I have a bachelor's in science and nursing, so I believe in science, number one. When I was a nursing student at USF in the city, my work study job was in the Harney Science Center, and they did experiments there. And part of what I realized is that the process of approving something is tedious and very methodical. So I believe, when I look at these vaccines, they've been 20 years in the making. They've been working on this, and now we have millions and millions and millions of people who've gotten them. And so I look at COVID, I look at the vaccine, and to me, it's a no-brainer. I was so excited to get a turn to get my vaccination, got it at the fairgrounds, and I was so excited to get it. And then it was a little anticlimactic because I thought, I don't know, I expected fireworks. And here I am. It's like, but it also brought this huge sense of relief. So every person in my realm, as they got vaccinated, I felt that same relief. I felt it when my 90-year-old parents got vaccinated at La Clinica. I felt it. My husband has a heart issue, and so I believe that he's one of the people who won't do well if he were to get COVID. I was so relieved when he got it, and when my turn came, I was completely ready. So that, and then as an administrator, I'm responsible for the people around me, my staff and my students and the Vallejo community. So I feel as if each person that I vaccinate I get vaccinated or I give information to, makes it safer for all of us and makes it safer for the unvaccinated people. I have a granddaughter who's 20 months old and can't get vaccinated. So every one of you that gets vaccinated makes her a little safer. So people like that, that's why I have a passion for it.
I love it. I love it. We were pretty high on the list to get vaccinated early because my family started a transitional home, which is similar to, it falls into the homelessness, essential workers, and so I felt like I needed to get vaccinated to make both two houses safer. But what was very interesting, and also I did believe that my husband and I, if we had COVID, it would be difficult for us to survive it. And so, but what's interesting is my 18-year-old at the time, he's 19 now, he said, I'm going too. And so I was so tickled that he was able to do that. And then later we wanted to do that, because I was going to have a conversation with him, but he was like, really, he said, the worry of bringing it home to his parents that didn't, and the fact that we didn't believe we could survive it was just too much for him to bear, and that's why he went, to keep us safe.
I completely understand that, and it's such a good feeling when people like your son, you have to have felt a huge relief when he made that decision and got that vaccine, and he did it from a loving place, and that's the place that I think we all need to look at. You may be young and think that you're going to be fine, and your son probably would have been fine, but what about the people that he comes in contact with? I mean, I got my vaccine for the people that work at the grocery store. I feel like those people are exposed every day. And I've also made the decision to wear my mask still when I go in there. I'm fully vaccinated, but if there's that little chance that I might carry it when I go in a public indoor place, I'm wearing it. Because I think we need to take care of each other. And I think that's the only way we can get rid of this thing. We're not going to get rid of it until we all become a little more selfless and say, I can do something to help my grandparent, the lady who works at the dry cleaners, whatever it is, somebody else around you.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a way of us taking care of each other.
It is. We have to work together as a community. So I'm sorry that some of it has become, or a lot of it has become, political. It never should have been political. It's something that, regardless of your political beliefs, you need to realize that this is a medical situation. This is a science and medical situation, and we all play a role in ending this. So,
Yes, yes. So I want to point our community to a resource, vaccinesolano.com, www.vaccinesolano.com. This is such a great website that my company put together in addition with, but we pulled information from the Solano County Vaccinate dashboard. So it will show you how many people in Solano County have been vaccinated. Then it does a breakdown by age group, by ethnicity, racial ethnic groups, and it does all these like really cool breakdowns, but it lets you see exactly where we are. In addition, this video will be there at the right on the front page, the top page of the site as well. But it's a great source of information because we believe the power is in the information. You know, you have questions, you know, you have worries, you have concerns, you know, with no judgment. We just want to answer the question. So this is a great portal. You, Laura, are one of our ambassadors, our Vaccinate Solano wonderful ambassadors. We appreciate you. There are 25 of you throughout the county rocking t-shirts. And yay! I was just telling Laura that Lisa and I on my team, I was so concerned about ambassadors getting their T-shirts that we didn't get ours until Lisa got hers last week. She said, and I guess I need to just go get mine. But it means a lot that we have ambassadors out there spreading the word about how important this is. And Laura, the fact that you came on. You do such great work and told us your why. Like, I don't know, just gave me chills.
I'm so happy to be part of this group, and the work that you're doing is invaluable. I think that right now, the people who are unvaccinated, obviously they have fears, and I think that, fears people have are justifiable, but they need to ask people. They need to talk about what's keeping them from getting the vaccine, because it's not too late. It's time now to make, do your homework, figure out what it is you need to know, and get out there and do the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. And and I'll just say that there's so much misinformation out there. You mentioned about being pregnant and getting vaccinated and that being a fear. There's so many fears out there. So, we just having these conversations and having these conversations with our healthcare providers, with just our community leaders around us, our neighbors, just having a conversation is powerful. So, oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming to Vaccinate Solano with
Thank
me.
you for inviting me. Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Fun. I love doing these. I feel like I get to, I used to just go to events and collect friends, but now I can collect my friends virtually.
Well, and someday we'll actually meet and we will be able to give an elbow or a hug. That would be great.
Absolutely. Yay. Okay. So to our community, we are signing off. We're saying goodbye. This has been an episode of Vaccinate Solano Live. I am your host, Patrice Williams. We have been here with the wonderful Laura Dutch. She is the principal of Vallejo Regional Education Center. I have to look at my notes because I don't want to say Vallejo Adult School.
Both are right. Both are right.
Yay. Okay. So take care all. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Stay well.